Hi everyone, my name is Jessica and I'm a PM in the Loop team. I'm here with Isha.
I'm Isha. I am also a product manager on Loop, and we're excited to be your hosts today.
Managing projects is challenging, but Microsoft Loop makes it easy to organize projects in one place and sync important information and tasks across apps.
Let's follow an example project around an upcoming sneaker launch. This project has multiple teammates and needs collaboration with people outside of our organization. In this project, we expect to share status regularly with key stakeholders and need to keep everyone up to date and in sync. We will cover multiple parts. The first part is kicking off a project, where we will show a Loop workspace being created with the help of Copilot. As part of this, we will walk you through a sample structure of the workspace that can help keep you organized. Then, we'll walk you through how to add people inside and outside of the organization. Next, we'll cover managing a project, where we will walk you through tables in Loop and adding content from project management apps like Planner. Then, we will cover some tips and tricks to get you started on work assigned to you through Loop page templates, notifications, and recap. Finally, we will cover status, viewing status of the workspace and sharing status with key stakeholders.
Let's start by kicking off a project in the Loop web app. Loop workspaces enable you to gather everything you need for your project in one place, and kicking off a Loop workspace has never been easier. Loop intelligently surfaces a gallery of relevant content to add to a new workspace based on just a title and a few keywords. After Copilot has helped us create the workspace, the team gathered to structure the project in a way that makes sense to us. We organized the sneaker launch workspace into sections that are important to our project. You can quickly view the latest of what's going on in the workspace through the status section of the workspace. We will deep dive on this section a bit later in the video. We additionally have a project brief section helping newcomers to the workspace get oriented with all of the project files and briefings that we created or that Copilot helped us create. The meetings section has all of the meetings for this project, including weekly team notes and marketing syncs with notes and follow-up tasks. We were able to easily pull this information from the meeting notes section in Loop. The progress section helps anyone to get the latest on where we are with key tasks and deliverables. The docs and important links has any research information that has been gathered. And finally, the stakeholder status section to help gather all of the updates that have been sent out to other teams outside of this working group. All of this was easy, and I was able to add pages and links with the Create New button and add subsections by clicking on the three-dot menu and tapping on New Subpage. Once you have created your project structure, you can easily add members to the workspace all at once by copying and sending the URL to join within your organization. As you can see, I'm sending the link to a couple of teammates to start on the project. Loop now allows the flexibility to work with people outside of your organization with guest access. You can now share your Loop components, Loop pages, and workspaces with people outside of your project. Let's start with sharing a Loop page with guests. Let's select the Share button in the top right corner of the page, select Page Link, and then select Settings. In the Link Settings page, select the People You Choose option. In this case, I'm going to be typing the email address of the guest I want to share the page with, and then select the Apply button. So this is going to generate a link that I can share via Teams, Outlook, or another app. Now, let's go to sharing a Loop workspace. This is a bit similar to the previous example. First, we're going to come to the Share button and select Workspace. Here, I'll type the email address of the guest I want to share the workspace with. Once that's done, an email will be automatically sent to the guest user to join the workspace.
So now that we have our workspace created, I want to talk a little bit about managing the actual project. Loop makes it very easy for team members to stay aligned and make progress. I want to walk you guys through an example of exactly how it looks like to manage a project in Loop. For project managers who are wanting to understand the latest, one way to manage progress is with Loop tables. We've populated the table with upcoming project phases and areas. You can see that we've added labels to the project. And if none of those labels work for you, we have the ability to add in a new label as well. We also have the ability to add columns and specify types in those columns. For example, we can add in an owner column and designate the type as people. Let's also say this view doesn't give you a good idea of how the progress is going for each section. You can also switch this to board view as well to get a better sense of the progress that's happening in this project. Now, if you want to dive deeper into a particular section, you can also open each row to add additional information within the table's context. So for example, each line expands into a new page, allowing you to see detailed information alongside high-level information like progress in one place, and it helps reduce context switching. The last thing I wanted to walk you through is setting automation rules within the table to help you save time. Simply go to the ... in the table and set the desired trigger. In this case, we'll do when a label changes. And then you can also set the desired action, send a Teams message or an Outlook email. All of this can help you automate processes right within Loop. As I mentioned before, Loop really tries to make it easy so that all of your stuff in content is really in one place. And so that's why we partner with key apps like Microsoft Planner so that you can easily track and assign deliverables without ever having to leave the Loop app and keep everybody accountable as well. All you have to do is go to the Planner website, copy the URL of the Planner plan that you've created. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and paste it in Loop. And now you can see the entire Planner plan is now a Loop component, and you can now manage and view your plan in context of documents and wikis that you're actively working on. We briefly discussed managing a project, but I also want to highlight Loop's features geared towards content creation for those that are assigned work. Here you can see in my meeting notes, I've been assigned a follow-up task to create an FAQ. Typically, this process involves reviewing previous materials, some back and forth, and can take considerable time to get started. However, with Loop templates, I can get started quickly. Here you can see that I can now create a page with the help of the Loop templates and Copilot. I can pull from the FAQ from last year and update the content to be with the dates around 2024 and the November sneaker launch. Copilot is now at work, generating a draft for me. I can choose to keep the draft, and now you can see Copilot has updated the FAQ with all the appropriate dates and has created sections for me based on what it thinks that I should have for the November sneaker launch. And I can use this to get started. This helps me reduce back and forth trying to find previous information.
In these collaborative projects, it can be hard to keep track of all of the upcoming requests, questions, and tasks from my team. The Loop notifications inbox helps corral all of the notifications, so I can just focus on what I need to do. Once I've made great progress, I can bring my teammates up to speed by asking Copilot to generate a recap for me. Just click the three-dot menu to start a recap. You can either recap your page changes with AI or summarize your own updates. Edit as necessary and mention others so they can pick up where you left off. Beyond just focusing on my own work, it can become difficult to understand the team progress and what needs to happen next. Thankfully, Loop makes it easy to visualize our team's progress through an automatically created and live updating workspace status. This dashboard collects the latest progress across our project, like tasks from task tables, status updates from progress trackers, recaps, and more. Now, if I come to the task card here, not only can I see an entire list of all of the created or modified tasks in the last month by the team, I can also group by page or person or filter by open or closed tasks. If I group by person, I can see what my teammates are working on and even see a list of tasks that have been assigned specifically to me. If I scroll down to the status label card, we can see that we have a similar filter capability where I can group by status, person, or filter by the type of status label that has been assigned to that specific item. Finally, oftentimes, project managers create status reports for their stakeholders so they can share what is going on with the project. You can use elements from Copilot's recap, Workspace status, and existing tables to create this. Once you have all of the information, you can send it as a loop component in Teams or Outlook, and people can always reference back to it in loop. Stakeholders can comment on the progress, and you can also use this as a reference for retrospectives or reflect on how a project is doing based on its goals.
Well, this wraps up our session for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We covered a lot of ground, from how to manage projects in Loop to just how to manage your content in general.
We hope you can join us in our next session where you can learn more about what you can do with Copilot in Loop.
We hope you found this session useful and insightful. And if you have any questions or feedback at all, just reach out on the link that you see on the screen or reach out on social media as well.